Hello, hello, hello. This is Chrisia from Lightning English, and I'm here today with another lightning lesson for you. And today I'm going to talk about the hidden reality of fluent English. And I'm talking about this today because I think it's a really important topic. As you know, I'm an English teacher and I speak to students all the time. And the first thing that I talk about when students come to me for a lesson is, or for a series of lessons, is about their goals. What do they want from their English? And I like to help people set realistic goals. But I really believe that you can't set realistic goals if you have unrealistic expectations. So I just want to share with you today a little about expectations and what people expect from fluent English and what the actual reality is. So one of the things that I hear, or some of the things that I hear most often from my students about their goals for their English, are that they want to speak quote unquote fluent English. And I think that's great. They don't want to have too many pauses when they speak. They want to speak without saying things like and ah. These are filler words, we call them filler words, because they just fill up the space. So they want to speak without any filler words. And a lot of people say they want to speak like a native speaker, and thinking that native speakers speak fluent English. They don't have so many filler words. They don't have so many pauses. And for example, they don't start sentences without finishing them and start again. But this is really not true. And until just over a year ago, I used to think it was okay for people to have these things as goals. I thought, okay, I'm a teacher. These are my students' goals, and I'm going to help them to achieve them. But last year, something happened that changed my whole point of view on this. And that is actually this here recording, or this series, Lightning Lessons. See, when I first started Lightning Lessons, they weren't going to be live lessons, they were going to be pre recorded. I was planning to start a YouTube channel and record a weekly lesson, a 10-minute lesson every week, and post it to my YouTube channel. So I got ready for my first one. And like I said, a 10-minute lesson. So I sat down and started writing the script for it. And it took me over an hour and a half to write 10 minutes of stuff about English. And this is a topic I talk about all the time. Why should it take me so long to write a script for it? It was because I wanted to go back, I fixed it, I changed things, I read it over, I'm thinking, oh, that didn't sound right. Oh, I missed something. So there was a lot of editing and fixing to do. And so I started preparing this lightning lesson. So I wrote a script, and then I rehearsed it a couple of times to make sure it sounded good. And then I started recording, and I've deleted it, but I wish I had saved it, because I did maybe 30 takes of this 10-minute lesson so that I could get it right. Because I kept making a mistake, or and having to start again. So I did like 30 takes, and I had all of this video on my computer. And then I went into the editing software to edit it all together. And I started working on it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm really bad at English. And I was thinking, wow, how am I going to make a really good recording without pauses and, ums and ahs and filler words? How am I going to do this? And I'm not a professional video editor. And I realized, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. Because if this is how I really speak, then why don't I just put it out there like that? One of the problems is that people who are looking at videos online, whether it is, YouTube videos or TED Talks or whatever, there are a lot of things going on beforehand to make it look fluent and natural. And I decided back then that I was going to give you the real thing. I would do live lessons, take some notes. I have some notes in front of me here. That's why I keep looking here. But I have some notes, and and I do my lessons live, which is why they're not always exactly 10 minutes, because I'm not editing it down to 10 minutes. It takes the time it takes. But live lessons have all of these things. They have filler words. They have the sentences that start that don't finish. And I realized, wait a minute, that's not where I was going here. Let me start again. You may not even notice it very much, but it's a really natural part of speaking English or speaking any language. So let me just get to my next part of my notes. Yeah. So one of the sorry. So I want you to stop and think about what is fluent English to you. I know you want your English to be fluent, but where are you getting your idea of what fluent English is? I know if you're like most people, you're getting it from TV, movies, maybe you listen to audiobooks, you're listening to podcasts, watching or listening to TED Talks. These things are great sources of English, but remember, they have all been scripted, rehearsed, recorded multiple times. They've taken lots of different takes and then edited so that it would sound flawless and natural. It's not the real thing. Listening to these things and expecting that to be your what your standard of English is like looking at a picture like this. Let's see if I can get it up there for you. I found this online. Here's this guy. He actually he actually looks like this, but in the picture he looks like this because it's photoshopped. It's not the real thing. When you watch TV and movies and on all of these videos that have been edited and scripted, it's like looking at a Photoshop picture and saying, I want to look like that. This is the real thing, and that's a lot more achievable. So I want you to remember that when you're making your goals for your English. Where are you getting your sources of English? Are they actually realistic sources of fluent English? And if they aren't, then you need to make some space in your life to actually hear real people speaking real English in a real way and have that guide you towards where you want to be with your English. Okay. So I'm gonna. I actually have a list. I shared it with my mailing list a couple of days ago of some sources where you can find English speakers, native English speakers, speaking very naturally. All the ums and ahs and the filler words, the start, the false starts, we call them when you start a sentence and then realize, oh, that's not going in the direction I wanted to. Maybe grammatically, maybe topic related. So all of these things are in these sources. So I sent this out to my mailing list 3 days ago or 2 days ago. You can get the same list if you get on my mailing list. And I will also be posting it in my Lightning Practice Facebook group. You can look for it. If you're on the Lightning English Facebook page, you can just look under groups and it's there. And I'll drop a link to it in the comments below. But if you're not on Facebook, go ahead and write me an email at chrissia@lightningenglish.com. Sign up for my mailing list at signup.lightningenglish.com, and I will put you on my list and you can get that list of sources. One of my favorite sources of native English speakers speaking normal English about all different topics in a very natural way, unscripted, unedited, is the Clubhouse app. If you haven't tried Clubhouse, go ahead and give it a try. This is an app for your phone that it's social media, but it's audio only. It's unrecorded audio social media. So you can go in and there are conversations on all sorts of things. Get into Clubhouse, get involved in a conversation or in a room where they're talking about something that you're interested in, whether it's related to your free time activities or your job or anything else that you're interested in. Find a room and listen to the people talking about that thing. You can listen for a while and then maybe join in with a question if you're feeling brave. But Clubhouse is a great way to hear how native speakers actually speak. I find that my students have a much higher standard for example, their English grammar than native English speakers do. Native speakers make all sorts of grammar mistakes. I teach grammar, I teach English. And when I go back to listen to my recordings, sometimes I hear that I've made small grammar mistakes while I'm speaking. And they're perfectly natural and they're perfectly normal. And it's a part of fluent English. So I suggest that you take a look at some sources of native speakers speaking naturally, unedited, unrecorded, unscripted. That's one thing to do. Another thing to do is really listen to yourself when you speak in your native language. Do you use filler words when you speak in your native language? Do you have pauses in your sentences when you're talking to your friends? Or when you're making a presentation at work, or if you're talking at a meeting? Do you start every sentence and finish every sentence perfectly without any false starts or grammar mistakes? If you don't do this in your native language, why on earth would you expect to be able to do this perfectly in English? So, what I'm asking you to do is look for some realistic expectations for your English and then set your goals. I'm not saying that you should drop your standards. What I'm saying is that what you expect from yourself should be realistic. If you can't do it in your native language, don't expect to be able to do it in English. If the average native English speaker, after speaking English for 30, 40 years, can't do this thing that you want to do, don't expect that I can help you or you can do it yourself within the next 6 months. It's not going to happen. But if you can set yourself some realistic goals based on realistic expectations, then I'll be happy to help you to achieve them. So I want you to download. I have a download at, where is it? Over here. Just give me a second. This is real, unscripted. Um, what is happening here? Okay. So it's at, nope, I've got, oh, that is totally the wrong thing. Let me remove that. And okay, it's at lightningenglish.com/goals. I'll share it with you in a second. And it is eight goal setting journal prompts to help you get started with your practice so that you can actually start to improve your English and work towards some realistic English goals. So remember, look for realistic sources of fluent English to help you decide where you want to go. Now, when you're doing your practice, go ahead and aim high. Go for those things that are a little harder. Look at, watch people giving TED Talks, even though for each TED Talk that you watch, for each minute of a TED Talk, people have done up to an hour of rehearsal. So that 10-minute TED Talk that you're watching and thinking, wow, I want to sound fluent like them, they've rehearsed that talk for 10 hours. Okay. So be realistic. Okay. So I hope you'll join me in the Lightning Practice Facebook group. I'll also post those links there to those sources that I found. And I'll be putting together some more. I've been looking for more podcasts and things that have real people speaking in a real way, unscripted and unedited. But it's not an easy task. So I look forward to seeing you next time. Join me in my Facebook group. Follow me on Instagram at The Real Lightning English. And follow my YouTube channel, the Lightning English YouTube channel. And I'll see you again next week. Take care. Bye bye.